Emma.
Raise your hand if you've ever been stuck on Alabama Rush TikTok. The never-ending stream of, hey y'all, went to be round two, my dress is from here, my headband's from here. If you haven't, this might help.
Just hit the forward button on the remote.
Hey y'all, it is day 1 of round 2 of UGA Rush, which is philanthropy round. I'm Kate. I'm Grace. And we're going to be giving y'all a little OOTD. So my dress is from Lucy in the Sky, my shoes are Chinese Laundry, my earrings are Lucy Lou's Boutique and Target, my bracelets from Target, my ring is my family, myself, and my boyfriend.
Rush is an anxiously awaited process that college girls go through with hopes to join the perfect world, sororities. So sororities exist all around college campuses, not just Alabama and Louisiana or Georgia, Victoria. And they're social organizations that girls join in hopes to make friends and make connections. They started out in the early 18th century. They started as academic inquiry. Students wanted a way to discuss philosophy and current events outside of the strict rigor of the classroom. But as we continued into the future, we moved away from academic organizations to more social groups. But now, while this might look like the picture-perfect world, sororities come with a much greater cost than just the dues and have a lot of social impacts and can be really exclusive. So, how does one join the sorority, or how does one join a sorority? It all begins with the rush process. So before you even get to campus, PNMs, potential new members, will fill out a pretty lengthy application that will include headshots to show what they look like, video interviews, their high school GPAs, transcripts, SAT scores, to what your parents do for a living and where you live. Then committees will come together at these huge sororities. They will look over the hundreds and thousands of applications they get and meticulously look at your social media. They'll look at everything that you sent in to make sure that you fit their criteria. They want, a girl that's going to be, unfortunately, pretty. It's going to meet their mold of what Morgan was talking about before, the beauty standard. They want to make sure that you have a good presence on social media so that you can almost advertise for your sorority. And unfortunately, that can lead to them to being very exclusive. So if almost like the college application process, if you have a family member or you have a friend who is part of a sorority, you're considered a legacy. And that puts you already a step ahead of everyone else because you kind of get a star next to your name and you are just a step ahead of everyone else. So once you get to campus, they've already critiqued over your application and you begin tours. So you'll go around to all the huge houses, whether you're down south or in the northeast, and they'll give you their little explanation of what their philanthropy is, what their sisterhood is about, and then you'll have little one-on-one interviews. And in these interviews, they have a list with your name on it, and they're going to write down little notes about you, what they like about you, what they don't like about you. They're going to critique you to a T. And so once you're there, you also have to follow a strict dress code. You're not to have any unnatural dyed hair. You cannot have any piercings. They want everyone to look uniform. Everyone is to look the same almost. Right? Everyone has their natural coloring hair, no piercings, no tattoos. So when you join this group, you're not to stand out. Everyone is a sisterhood, you're the same. But from the ages of 18 to 25 is when your self-image is at its peak development. It's when it's most important for you to go out, meet new people, try different things. So being a part of a sorority, while it's not your whole life, it's going to shut you off from meeting so many new people and really cause you to be closed-minded. Now, unfortunately, another thing that they look at is they have racial preferences. When you look at these groups of people, you're going to think one thing. They're all white. Sororities, another thing they have is that they are very exclusive to other races. They want the pretty blonde girl or brunette girl. That's why 75% of Greek life in the United States is predominantly white. Now, you might be thinking, Emma, why do you care about sororities? You're going to school in the Northeast, you're joining the military, they kind of have no connection to you. Well, this is Abby. Abby is my cousin, and she actually just graduated high school yesterday down in Texas. And she will be going to the University of Arkansas in August, okay. And so when I talked to Abby, she told me she was doing the rushing process, and I had to call her, and I had so many questions, and she told me all about the application process that she's currently going through, about the headshots she has to go take, about the different videos she has to fill. My mom went to a small SUNY in upstate New York. She had to put my mom's name in the sorority she was in to show that she has a connection to any form of Greek life, to hopefully put her above the girls she's competing against necessarily. So when I asked Abby, why are you joining a sorority? Her main reason was she wanted a group of friends. She wanted a way to get to campus and automatically have people around her. But that caused me to stand back for a second and think, so you're joining a sorority to hopes to make friends. It's very much forced. It's very unorganic. You are joining this sorority in hopes to kind of automatically have a friend group. But when you make friends in high school, you obviously go through different friend groups. You go through, you have to learn who you are. You have to learn who these people are. You cannot automatically just become friends with them. You know, just because I walked on the lacrosse team with Juliet does not mean that we are automatically friends. You have to get to know someone. You have to make personal connections with them, which is just another example of how inorganic sororities can be. As someone who's played sports their entire life, I've been on teams of anywhere from 20 to 25 girls. At no point in my athletic career has my team completely got along. I have 2 teammates in the room right now. I have 3 teammates in the room right now. We've never all gotten along. I don't think it's possible. So to tell me, if someone tells me that from 60 to 200 girls in a sorority, they all get along and it's all kumbaya, that's just not true. I refuse to believe that that is true. The environment can actually be very toxic and competitive. Girls are constantly trying, post on social media and, just make sure that their life looks more perfect than the girl next to them. They're constantly, trying to work out, stay in shape, have the best outfits so that they can outdo the person next to them, and it can be a really dramatic and competitive environment. Now, so let's say you have a top sorority and you make it to the top of their list as well, you're going to receive a bid. So once you receive that bid and you're finally a part of the sorority, the next part is hazing. Hazing is the way that you are able to show your commitment, your dedication, how much you really want to be a part of the sorority. All right? Most of you probably heard of sororities and fraternities because of hazing. It's the reason why a lot of Greek life in some states, Greek houses, as well as just Greek life in general, has been completely banned from college campuses. For fraternities, it tends to be a lot of illegal amounts of drinking, and for sororities, female recruits having to do unspeakable sexual acts in order to show their commitment and dedication to this organization. But for the older members, they kind of just use it as a joke. They kind of look at you as, you're willing to do anything to be one of us, so let's see what we can make you do. You might have heard in recent news, LSU pledge who died in 2017, Maxwell Groover, at 18, was forced to chug 190 proof liquor, leaving his body with 6 times the normal amount of alcohol. And the legal limit of alcohol, his family just received a settlement from the Phi Delta Theta fraternity because of wrongful death, all because they wanted a good laugh. There was no real reason behind it. It was, hey, these kids are willing to do anything to be one of us, so let's make a good laugh out of them. Now, thankfully, hazing has seen a decrease over the past few years with new laws implementing recruit safety, as well as banning any form of hazing in many states, but it's still something that students will experience if they plan on going through the Greek life process. So now you received your bid, you experienced your hazing, now you're part of sorority. What's next? You are constantly watched over when you're in sorority. There is going to be a panel of almost like the leadership, like the council of your sorority, and their job is to make sure that you are staying in the mold. You are not dyeing your hair unnaturally. You are not getting the piercings that do not fit what they want you to wear. Your social media is meticulously checked over. You have to make sure that you are advertising for the sorority. You do not want anything negative about your sorority to be put out there, so you're constantly watched over. Another thing that comes with sororities is the expenses. So you go through the rush process. There's about a $150 fee that comes with that, and then every semester, it's roughly about $1,000 to $3,000 in order to stay a part of the sorority, which just makes it even more exclusive for students who are expected to pay that. Now, my talk today was not meant to completely discourage you from joining a sorority. If you have any interest in it, I'd say go ahead if that's something that you want to do personally. There's many benefits. I reached out to past BHS students, Gettysburg, at Alabama, at Delaware, and they enjoyed their experience. They got to grow in leadership, they had academic support, but I want you to think, if you're joining Rush in the fall, just think over, why am I doing this? so the positives outweigh the negatives. And please, 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 if you're joining a sorority, post an OOTD on TikTok. Thank you.